I've managed over $143 million in Google ad spend for e-commerce brands across hundreds of different industries and niches. And here's what I've seen. Despite Google Ads being one of the most profitable advertising platforms, most brands are still running it the wrong way. Take this example right here. When this automotive brand came to us, it had no foundation in place. And as a result, they were literally running Google Ads, spending tens of thousands of dollars. I mean, in September, they spent 9.8K. In October, they spent 10.2K. At a 0.08x ROAS. No, these are not fake numbers. Everything from the conversion tracking to the Google Merchant Center was completely unoptimized, and it caused the entire brand to operate at this level. The worst part was for this brand owner, because it's a brand owner that had little to no knowledge about Google Ads, that was more focused on meta ads on TikTok at scale. They thought that this was just a norm with Google and that Google was just supposed to be some retargeting ad platform. So what they did is, instead of trying to figure out the right foundational strategy, instead of trying to get the algorithm on their side, they essentially continued with this faulty approach. They continued running these campaigns that were overbearing and just unprofitable in general, to the point where the business was about to close its doors forever. And just a quick look into the back end, just auditing this brand under my agency, what I came to realize was that the entire Google Merchant Center didn't even know what this brand was about. In fact, I thought this brand was selling healthcare products when it's actually an automotive e-commerce brand. So all we had to do to get things back on track was get rid of any unnecessary products and keywords, get rid of any campaigns that were overspending, which is the most common problem most brands have, and then scale only towards the right products. Within 30 days, this approach was enough to get this brand on track and scaling at a much higher ROAS of a 7 to 8x on average. These are kind of the things I've seen spending now over 140 million in the last 7 years. So in this video, I'll break down what's actually working in Google Ads today, what's actively hurting performance, and how winning brands continue to scale profitably with Google. And I'm going to do this by showing you exact concrete examples of certain brands that we work with. Starting with the first brand right here. This is a liquor brand that's based in the United States, and we essentially started working with this brand in November of 2025, late last year essentially. Now, if we look at the overall trajectory of this brand, you might look at these numbers and you might think that this brand is crushing it. I mean, in October, it says that this brand roughly, if we look at the total ad spend, spent $37,000 to make back $1.8 million at a 50x ROAS. But just like the first brand, this brand was basically sitting on top of a foundation that could crack wide open at any given point. And the number one issue which was causing this brand to go down, the number one issue that I see so many brands struggle after spending this much on Google, is over complexity. I mean, just taking a look at all of these campaigns that were running during that time from August to basically end of September and end of October, we can clearly see that this brand had way too much going on during that time, which was not really leading this brand forward in any manner. Conversion tracking was broken to begin with, and the initial campaign strategy that was in place before conversion tracking broke was leading them towards a barely profitable 1x ROAS, partly because this is a liquor brand where there's so many different asset violations, policy violations, that it becomes very difficult to continuously scale on the Google Ads side. And over complexity, nowadays I like to say, is the number one root cause of good brands going bankrupt. To kind of get things back on track, what most brands believe is they need more activity, they need to do more. So what they do is, instead of doing the right things, improving the foundations, improving the feed, they go a bit broader and they think launching more stuff, clicking more buttons within the Google Ads dashboard is what will scale the brand further. So in this situation, that's essentially what this brand owner and their old agency were doing. They launched a bunch of different campaigns ranging from performance max campaigns to standard shopping, even search campaigns, and every single time they launched a brand new campaign, it pulled them closer and closer to the final nail in the coffin situation where they would actually have to shut down their factory, because all of these campaigns were not optimized. A lot of them were basically unprofitable to begin with, and because there was so much momentum, so many campaigns running at the same time, they were essentially overlapping each other. Some of these search campaigns were interfering with each other. The standard shopping campaigns and the PMAX campaigns, they had similar keywords they were going after, and what was happening was, instead of this brand's algorithm going towards the right customer, every single day it was going further and further away because conversion tracking issues were adding problems. But at the same time, internal wars that this brand had started started with its own keyword bidding was driving their ad cost up and causing the entire brand to go after a low buying intent and medium buying intent audience, because the main goal for this brand owner at this point was do whatever you can do to keep the lights on within the factory, spend as much money as possible, because they had a certain revenue threshold which they needed to run at in order to keep things moving. This is something so many brands do. When things are not working, if things are unprofitable for whatever reason, instead of punishing the algorithm, instead of lowering ad spend, they try to spend more money. This is essentially, if you go all the way back to January of 2025 and before we began working together, which was in November, we can see that the entirety of this time they were extremely unprofitable, but they continued to run and spend a lot of money on Google. Their break even was roughly at 3.5x, and here they were at a 1.4x, spending $87,000 in a single month. This was absolute insanity, and it's a miracle almost that this brand continued to run. But what I learned from taking over this brand and essentially kind of pulling everything apart from the foundation up and restructuring everything from the ground, from the product feed to the merchant center, to get the assets and the products approved first and foremost, but at the same time focus on the right strategy, focus on the right campaign structure, which ended up scaling this brand at a 4.5x ROAS and a 6x ROAS with real conversion tracking metrics. Is that simplicity is the goal in 2026, especially. The days of launching a bunch of stuff, the days of overdoing multiple different campaign types all at the same time, doing standard shopping, search, PMAX, YouTube, etc., they are better left behind in 2025 because of the entire approach of complexity versus simplicity. In this brand situation and so many other brands I've worked with to this date, lesser number of campaigns based on a certain segregation strategy, based on the right approaches, is almost always better than having a lot of stuff, a lot of junk running at the same time. And this is because the core fundamental of how Google works is the more data you force to select few campaigns, not only does that equal it being easier for you to manage in terms of the overall campaign structure, in terms of the overall scale, but also letting the algorithm get on your side and allowing it to work with your products, work with your product feed and your directions to attract high buying intent customers only. That's one of the sole reasons why we went with this brand from having 5-10 different campaigns, which they were running at initially, to only 4 major campaigns. You know what the strategy here is? If we look right over here at these campaigns, the initial approach is fairly simple. We have a performance max campaign running that's a feed only based approach in a niche that's supposed to not even have products allowed because it's a gray area niche, it's liquor. But we were able to get this approved, and then after that we were able to run this at a 6.20x ROAS during this time period, spent over 6 figures from November 1st to when I'm recording this video, January 21st. But at the same time, what we wanted to do was, instead of adding more complexity, now scaling further into search, demand gen, etc., and just adding more fluff, we wanted to keep things simple based around what was already working. So we essentially launched more performance max campaigns here based on certain product collections, based on certain product drops. Everything in this brand drops a liquor sub collection or a specific type of product, we go ahead and launch certain campaign strategies based around shopping and feed only that goes after that product and that drop for that time period. And we keep things simple because it works the best. We do have a search campaign running right here that is running at $25 a day because it is a brand search campaign, because my philosophy now going into 2026 is you want to follow the 90-10 rule, where 90% of your budget goes toward cold traffic, 10%, maybe less than 10%, goes toward branded search to prevent your competition from entering the market and then stealing your customers. It's that simple. But with that, let's move on to the second example of another brand which we have been working with for quite some time now, and what I essentially learned running campaigns for so long, which is basically like a broad level learning that I've recognized and understood after working with tens and hundreds of different e-commerce brands throughout the last 7 years. This second brand is actually a DIY arts and crafts brand based within the United States. And as we can see, if we just kind of look at a broader time period right here from September all the way to January 23rd, there has been a beautiful scale that we've been able to achieve for this brand. Again, following the right fundamentals from the previous brand's example and following the right structure. We started working with this brand roughly around September 15th, but if we go all the way back to July and then look at it until when I'm recording this video right now, which is in January, we can see there has been a very drastic increase in all of the stats, from the clicks to the conversion value to even the ROI. So during that time, they were running at a 2.99, 2.92x ROI. Very average numbers, nothing too big, nothing too crazy to drool over. But essentially, again, once the foundations, the core driving forces of this brand were fixed, from the product feed to the merchant center, the right campaign structure was implemented, that's when the brand really started to scale to the next level. But in this situation, the problems and the things that this brand was doing, which you should not do, were slightly different. The main issue for this brand initially was this brand was trying to scale way too quickly when the right approaches, when the right strategies were not in place. This is another big problem I've seen spending so much money on Google Ads now, which is so many brands, they'll find one winning product or they have several best-selling products or a best-selling collection going, and the moment it starts to sell well, maybe it's been a few days and it's absolutely crushing it, it's very profitable, and instead of giving the algorithm enough time to optimize and allow more data to trickle in before you make changes, these brands, and you might be doing this yourself, go in, double, triple the budgets, launch a bunch of different campaign types, surge, demand, and etc., all focus around those specific collections. And what happens is, if there was a little bit of a skew in terms of certain types of audiences during certain days of the month or the year coming in to buy that product because of whatever reason, maybe somebody did a big ad on TV, or maybe they saw something going on in the real world, a real event that caused them to search for that product for those select few days, instead of the brand kind of being able to capitalize on just those select few days, now you're pushing the brand to go beyond what it cannot do just yet because it's not optimized to that level. It only had a few days worth of data, a few keywords here and there. It needs more consistent data, and it needs you to not scale way too quickly. Number one brand killer, by the way. These are just one of the things I've seen working with so many brands, which, by the way, if you run a brand making over $50,000 per month in revenue, you want to scale to the next level with the Google Ads, go ahead and scan the QR code on the screen right by my face, or click the first link in the description below to speak directly with me, get an audit for your brand's Google Ads accounts, and see how we can potentially work together to scale your brand to the next level. But going back to this example right here, one of the biggest problems here and the bottlenecks was they had tons of different campaign types running during the initial period before we began working together. And as a result, what was happening was the algorithm's attention and time span and budget allocation was getting spread too thin. The number one thing you want to avoid, the number one thing I've learned now spending this much on Google, is the easier you make the algorithm's life with proper segregation and without too much going on, the better it performs overall. So during that time, they had different search campaigns running, as you see here on my screen. They had a performance max campaign. However, from that time period, search campaigns, for whatever reason, was their number one goal and their number one thing they wanted to break, despite their branded search campaigns being the only ones driving the highest ROI and driving the most profitable sales. The other search campaigns, which were for cold traffic, very mediocre results. Clearly, even during that time, Performance Max was working much better, but because they didn't really understand how to scale properly, they didn't know the fundamentals and the exact strategy of scaling, they were only relying on things that seemed like that next golden egg. They were trying to find that next biggest winning campaign type, that best winning strategy, when the answer was right in front of their face. But essentially, what you want to understand, and what I realized with this brand, is when results are shaky, you want to congregate things together versus spread things out too thin. The results here, although they seem mediocre and decent, they were number one low because this brand was already spending tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars on Facebook ads, where on Google, in a 2-month period, they had barely spent $17,000. Number two, their ROI on Google was decent. It was at a 3x ROI, but the problem was the branded campaigns were driving up their ROI. The real cold traffic non-brand ROI was less than a 2x, and that was basically cutting their margins way too thin. So just like with any brand, what we wanted to do was make things a bit more congregated, make things a bit more simpler for the brand to understand. First step, just like with any brand that we take, is to focus on the product feed, build the foundation so that it's so strong, the algorithm has no other option but to send your way high quality traffic. We did this with this brand by starting with the product feed. Now, the problem with this brand was because it's a DIY arts and crafts brand, and this might be the same situation for your brand, their entire product image strategy, title strategy was geared towards Facebook ads during that time. And the results showed, because overall, even though the CTR seemed high, they were attracting very low and very medium buying intent audience types versus the high buying intent, because these people were intrigued within this industry, within this specific niche, and they were looking for solutions that were basically question based. For example, how to build a DIY product that based around this specific product right here. These were the types of questions people were searching for when this brand was running this product feed strategy, and this was the type of audience that was clicking on their ad. So we had to kind of restructure what the brand was going after. We did this by entirely improving the product title strategy, going after only specific keywords which can lead to a sale right now, not 5 days later, not 10 days later, right at this moment. And if we look at just the last 30 days of CTRs and all the results, we can see CTRs improved drastically because we made the product titles much more broader. And we did this because a lot of the other competitors were running very simple, very straightforward product titles that were small. Of course, you want to always be the opposite of your competition. Number one thing I've learned spending over $143 million, but at the same time, we improved their product images to make it so it's also the opposite of the competition. The number one thing, despite this brand being a DIY arts and crafts brand, the competitors were doing was they had a lot of plain white background images running. And a great example of this in this situation is, for example, a DIY advent calendar right here. We can see there's different options coming up here, different kinds of competitors, but overall, you can clearly see that a lot of the competitors have a plain white simple background approach here. And again, to stand out, you have to be the opposite, which is why we wanted to have everything be in a complete lifestyle background image, just so this brand had the best approach in terms of standing out. And this was alone with the easy, straightforward campaign strategy that was just focused on a select few campaigns, which now we have expanded a bit more because things are working a lot better. And we're at a very, very high ROI of 5.07x in the last 30 days. And that too, spending $30,000 and more per month in ad spend. But initially, we again kept it with the 3-1 approach, keeping the main performance max campaign running based around a feed only approach with a cold traffic search campaign and just a branded search campaign. This is what I call the 3-1 approach. And this is a simplistic approach most brands can scale to multi-5 and multi-6 figures per month in revenue from. So from this brand, I kind of concluded that more often than not, even in situations where it may seem a bit difficult because there's low search volume or it looks like a brand that's better suited for Facebook or TikTok, just having a properly congregated approach, just focusing on the product feed by doing the opposite of the competition is more than enough. And this third example of this supplement brand, same thing that we did here. And this alone was enough to kind of scale this brand from the depths of failure where certain days they were barely doing $100 in revenue to now having much more consistent results. And even though we're nowhere close to where we want to be, they're almost at $900 to $1,000 in consistent revenue overall, which is the ultimate goal for this brand. So essentially with this brand, because it's a supplement brand in a specific industry, it's almost always very difficult to get things properly aligned, to get things properly strategized around. And the wrong thing to do with a brand like this is to implement surface level strategies. Now, one of the main reasons why this brand wasn't working initially was because a lot of these strategies and tactics were very surface level. I'm talking about essentially product segregation based on the collections, product segregation based on profit margins, or even the prices of the products. Now, on a surface level, this might seem like the right thing to do, but the thing is, Google is becoming so much more complex, it's becoming so much more smarter that it needs more data-based inputs for it to actually perform better. In situations like this, data inputs such as which products are selling better versus which aren't, what type of keywords are we attracting, and then separating out the specific collections based around the overall keywords that a performance max campaign has already ranked for and gotten good results for, etc. All database segregation tactics based on the real data within a Google Ads account. That was exactly what was missing with this brand. And in addition, one thing I've noticed is with brands like these, when there's no proper segregation in place, the budget gets spread way too thin. And when that happens, nothing really gets tested properly, nothing really gets scaled properly, and overall, it actually drives the brand down and prevents you from achieving the scale you're looking to achieve. Because with your Google Ads strategy, the number one strategic approach you should be looking at or implementing is that approach which will get you from point A of you being unprofitable or you're spending a certain amount of money to point Z where you are already profitable, you're scaling, and the minimum that you can accept at that point is break-even levels. The earlier you can get from point A to point Z with a simplistic congregated approach based on data, the better your brand will perform in 2026. That's one of the core fundamentals I've learned after spending over $143 million on Google Ads. But as you can see from these examples, Google Ads is still one of the most profitable channels right now when it's run the right way. And I'll be honest, it does take time to get things right on track. Sometimes it can take a few weeks, sometimes it can even take a month or two, like in these situations. But once you get it to that certain level of profitability, once you give the algorithm the right inputs it's looking for, at that point it can become very stable, and at that point it can be a consistent stream of new customers within your brand for a long-term basis. Now, if you're a brand owner or already doing $50,000 or more per month in revenue and you want to scale with Google Ads profitably to the next level, scan the QR code right here on my screen or click the first link in the description below to get a completely free Google Ads audit done for your brand. And then if it makes sense, we can potentially work together to scale your brand to the very next level.